Hi, friends. So, of course, if you're hearing my voice and you're looking at my face, I'm so super single love messages for my very, very single. I'm talking about you ain't got no prospects, you ain't got no options, you ain't got no suitors, you're not dealing with nobody old, no nothing. So, welcome. My name is B, just in case if you're new to being here, if you're accustomed to being here, welcome back. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I do have my love playlist going. So yeah, just for those of you who are new here, again, my name is B. If you're accustomed to being here, welcome back. This is really just a like generalized love reading for those who are single. Like I said, you don't have no prospects, you have no hoes, you have no options, you have no nothing. The roster is clear, bitch, and you are watching this because what the hell is going on with my love life? Okay, so like, share, subscribe. Drop down below in the description box. You can book personal readings with me, love readings with me. You can get 10% off also on those readings, especially the, what is it, the in-depth reading, I think, is the main one. You can definitely get clarity and like discount on. Also, using the comeback code, using the discount code, comeback. Excuse me, there's a capital COMEBACK for those of you who want 10% off of your love reading. Okay, drop down below in the description box if you want to find me on any of my other platforms. I do have my love playlist playing in the background. This is literally my manifestation playlist. I'm gonna try to see if I can also plug that in the description box, just in case if you have Apple and you want to kind of like just get on top of the tunes and have an extra playlist of like music to listen to. I'm always adding to it. So yeah, I don't have one for Spotify, but I do have one for love and like just trying to manifest love. So yeah. As of right now, since I Have a Lover by Black is playing, I'm a big fan of him. Great mixtape, great album, great single. So yeah. I don't want to make this super long, so I'm going to just go ahead and jump in. I'm trying to debate if I want to jump in with Oracle cards or just tarot. I'll start with oracle quote though. Give me one oracle card for my collective people who need a message. Ride the Wave is the card that came out. This is a card generally of just going with the flow. So again, for my super single people, I think it's interesting too. You have two fives. Bottom of the deck is the Goblin card, which has a blatant five, as you can see at the top. Ride the Wave is a card that came out on the spread. It has a 14, reducing down to a 5. Changes are meant to happen. Let's start there for my single people, okay? The whether it needs to be you need to change or changes are happening around you. Take it for how it resonates, but considering the cards, I feel like changes are happening around you. This is a good time to really just ride the wave, go with the flow. Don't think super hard about nothing. Don't be overly critical about nothing, nobody, yourself included, and just kind of flow with things. You don't always have to have a hand in things. You don't always have to control things. You don't always have to nitpick everything. Sometimes you can just chill and vibe and just kind of flow with people who are flowing with you and just allow things to see where they want to go. Bottom of the deck card is the Goblin card. So again, a 5. These changes actually might trigger some insecurities, some worries, some fears, some anxieties. The Goblin card is basically a card to say that all of your insecurities, that negative voice that's usually in the back of your head, telling you that everything can go wrong, everything can go awful, things can turn like this or turn like that or whatever have you. This is a good time to remember that again, these voices in your head are just that, voices in your head. Okay. This isn't time to really lean into those voices and or listen to those voices. But again, instead of understanding that, like, well, one part of it is understanding that these voices are going to continue because they're really rooted in past things you've been through, past trauma. But understanding that despite the negativity, despite the inner critic in your mind, despite the inner voice in your head that's telling you everything that can go wrong, this is a really, really good time to just like ground yourself, hone in, and really just allow things to transpire naturally, organically for you. Um, yeah, and it'll go from there. So it kind of just depends on what you want. Let's see if I can find the book for this. Even though I feel like I've pretty much captured what the meaning of the card is. I still kind of like to sometimes go back off and into the book and read it. So again, we do have ride the wave. It says right now success is easy and effortless. So again, if you want love, if you're seeking love, if you're watching this right now out of some idea of like, girl, what the hell is going on in my love life? What's in store for me? What's coming? I'm tired of being single. I'm tired of trying to figure this shit out by myself, right? Again, right now success is easy and effortless. It says you can be assured that entering a time when you can ride the wave is, excuse me, you can be assured that you're entering a time when you can ride the wave of abundance. The tide has turned and you can put your surfing skills to the test. Excuse me. Everything that you know, all your talents, coupled with your hopes and your dreams, will carry you forward. People and circumstances will come out of the ocean of potential and possibly take shape in the wave of spectacular activity. Know that you are definitely on the right path. I Love You So by the Walters is coming in. You know, I absolutely love that song so much. It's just so funny. Everything about the song kind of gives me a vibe of just like, you know, one person saying, but I just love you so much. And the other one saying, please go away. Please go away. Please leave me alone, right? While someone else is really advocating for like, I just love you so much and I just can't eat, can't sleep without you. So again, this makes me feel like there could be, for some of my super singles, there could be love coming in. Like I said, it could be people or situations coming out of the wave of potential, right? And it's going to be on you to ride the wave. So this is a good time to not close yourself off. This is a good time to not, like I said, overanalyze or be overly critical of certain prospects. Changes can come from weird ways. You know, you never really know who you'll fall in love with, who your special person might be, and even if it's not a special permanent special person like from for the rest of your life, it can still be someone who you can still enjoy for right now, who can give you what you need for right now until you find the person that you're meant to be with for a long time. Okay, so that seems super, super, super very important. Give me an oracle card for my Soul Super Single Collective. For my Soul Super, Super Single Collective. Complexity is here. The quincunx. However you fucking say this. It says irritation, complication, contradictions, clashes, requires translation, adjustments, missing the mark, making, curious, education, and transformation. So again, things might not necessarily be easy for my single couples, right? Even if you're watching this and you like, girl, I've been trying to go with the flow the best that I can. Maybe you're finding very complex people, finding yourself in very complex connections, dealing with very complex individuals, right? The complexity card though makes me feel like this isn't going to be a walk in the park for my single people. Okay, so again, if you're watching this because you're trying to see what the hell going on with your love life, where your boo is, where's your forever person, where is your person, where is your lover, this makes me feel like they probably, if you have met them already, you probably going through a couple of complications. And if you haven't met them yet, you probably going through complications on your route to meet them. But this makes me feel like, again, go with the flow. This isn't the time to, like I said, uh, excessively cut nobody off. This isn't the time to push people away. This isn't the time to not go with the flow. You need to go with the flow. Go with the flow of potential people who will want to court you. Go with the flow of potential people who want to get to know you. Just kind of flow with it. Like this feels like for my collective, this is a good time to like be in the flow of just kind of seeing what happens and trying the spirit by the spirit. Dance for You by Beyonce is playing. That was on the 4 album. So I don't know if 4 is like a special number for some of you. 444 is an angel number. Maybe again, the number 4 is just substantial and or spiritual to you to some extent. But again, this is a good time to make sure that you are like going with the flow of the changes that are happening right now. Try not to get in your head about like the worst that could happen. You know, sometimes when you single and you dating, it's hard to really be open-minded. It's hard to really be open-hearted because you've been through so much. So in the back of your mind, you're re-evaluating, reapplying, reliving some of the hurts that you've been through, out of the like fear and worry and insecurity that new people might do the same thing old people have done. And this isn't going to help you. Okay, if you want change, you have to embrace change, which means you have to kind of go with the flow and be open-minded and open-hearted to what could be a good positive change as opposed to what could be a negative change, right? It's hard sometimes to just let people in your space, let people in your life, because again, the closer they get to you, the more they have the possibility, the power, and the potential to hurt you. But I mean, it's about what you do with it. Dance for You also by Beyonce is a very like vulnerable song for me. So again, maybe some of you need to go with the flow of being a little more vulnerable. How can you add more vulnerability into your conversations with your prospects? How can you add more vulnerability into the conversations with the people that you're dealing with? How can you add more vulnerability with your own self about what it is that you're looking for? Right? I have somebody in my life who I don't want to marry them, but I enjoy enjoying them how it works for us, right? But I also kind of just had to sort of let them know, like, yeah, we're gonna be dealing with each other. There's some things I'm dealing with, and there's some things I'm not, right? So again, just how can you work with the complexities? How can you work with the things, right? If you miss the mark, how well can you get back to making sure you hit the mark, right? If you're find yourself in complicated situations or dealing with complex people, maybe you're a complex person because I'm also a very complex person, and that's normal too. So maybe it's not even about nobody external from you. Maybe you are like the complexity, okay, and you are the complicated puzzle piece that's trying to be fit in together, right? That's all fine and dandy, but how are you doing that in a vulnerable manner? How are you doing that in a manner that changes things? How are you doing that in a manner that changes yourself? How are you doing that in a manner that honors and goes with the flow of where things are being directed? You know, again, sometimes when you get hurt in the past by past people, you feel like you want to control everything, right? I want to control this. I want to control the pace. I want to control the title. I want to control where things are going. I want to control the speed of which things are going. I want to control how I show up. I want to control how they show up. How can you release all of that and relinquish control while also honoring the changes that could be afoot right now? Let's see. Let's grab a couple of tarot cards for my soul super singles. What do they need to know? What can they anticipate right now at this moment? Allow these messages to be clear for those who need them the most. Four of Wands just fell out. Knight of Wands just fell reversed. I'll take it reversed. Five of Wands fell reversed. Page of Pentacles is reversed. Give me one more. Who's trying to keep harmony? And then Seven of Cups is reversed. Who's trying to keep the peace? Who's trying to keep the harmony? For some of you, this also feels like beware, my super singles. Beware of getting in new connections and then being more focused and centered on trying to keep the peace and the harmony than instead of really trying to do the thing. I watch a lot of like therapist talks, a lot of couples therapy, a lot of like stuff like that. Conflict is normal. And actually, the earlier you can go ahead and encounter some conflict, the better, because it lets you know how this person, for one, conflict resolutes, but then for two, it lets you know what you might already need to kind of keep an eye out for. But if you like are overly trying to keep the peace, if you're dealing with people who are overly trying to keep the peace, they don't want to step on your toes, you don't want to step on their toes, nobody's really having any conflict, you're not seeing how conflict is really being resolved, what solutions are really being come to, you know what I'm saying? You're just trying to like walk on eggshells. That's not going to work for you. So again, this going with the ride the wave card feels like for some of you, you might need to stop doing that. You might need to be the change that this person needs, or that you might need in your own life. So take it for how it resonates. Like I said, for some of you could be a little too go with the flow, to where now you just trying to keep the peace, you trying to keep the harmony, but they doing stuff you don't like, you doing stuff they don't like, y'all probably really don't like each other, or there's tension, there's an elephant in the room, but nobody's really addressing it. That's not really going to get anyone anywhere. That's going to add more complexity. Okay, that's going to add more issues, add more puzzle pieces, add more clashes. You're not hitting the mark. Whatever mark you're trying to hit, you'll miss it because you're not really being open, being honest, being vulnerable about what you feel and your real intentions. Okay, like I said, Five of Wands is here reversed. So for a lot of you, my super singles, you might find new prospects and then want to avoid conflict. You know, you might have a little crush or whatever, but you don't really like how they show up with you, but you don't want to say nothing because you don't want to fuck up the vibe. The vibe getting fucked up anyway because you're not saying nothing. Just saying. If you know your spirit already bothered by something they doing, already bothered by how they showing up, already bothered by what they do and or don't do, then this is a good time to really kind of make that a conversation. This isn't the time to just be going with the flow and then hoping somebody wake up tomorrow and then change their ways. No, that's going to come from you choosing to not keep the peace, choosing to not avoid confrontation, and really kind of having that conflict if you need to have that conflict to say, yeah, you did this and I didn't really appreciate it. You said that, you acted like that the other day and I didn't really appreciate it. And that would really turn the tides of things. But if you're just not saying nothing and you trying to be passive aggressive and you trying to keep the peace and you trying to keep the balance, you see what the duality of this card is, right? You trying to keep the peace, you trying to keep the balance, you trying to keep the flow, you trying to keep the goddamn Akuna Matata around this motherfucker, but you are the one internally feeling fucked up about it, feeling disturbed, feeling perturbed, feeling depressed, feeling stressed, feeling anxious about it. So what are you doing to change that? Four of Wands with the Five of Wands side by side. Before I get into the rest of these cards, you know, I like, if you watch me long enough, you know, I like to count up. Nine of Wands energy. So what self-imposed blockages are you putting in place that you could probably maybe make some changes on if you speak up, if you say something? And then a single swords card in this deck. I see cups, I see wands, I see pentacles, I don't see no swords. So at what point are you actually speaking up in the moment, right then, right there, at that moment about what's going on? Or are you trying to keep the peace? So Into You by Tamia is playing. So again, are you so into these people to where you just acting like, oh, you know, I really didn't appreciate what they said to me the other day, but you know, I'm really into them, so I'm just not gonna say nothing. That don't help nobody. Who the hell that help? How does that help you? How does that benefit you to not say nothing to them? To not call them out right in that moment. That was I just got somebody who I don't know, we're not romantically inclined, but you know, just somebody I'm kind of dealing with to a capacity. But it's like, yeah, I ain't really fucking up. I ain't really fucking with how you showing up. You know, whether they do something or not about it is their business. But person watching, as far as you need to say something. So that way, how they show up and change or not lets you know how much they care. But it's about how well you can say something. For some of you, again, Seven of Cups is reversed. This is a good time to make sure that you're also like opening your options. For some of you, you just kind of riding a wave. Whoever like you like them. Uh, you ain't putting your eggs in several baskets. The Page of Pentacles is reversed. So again, these could be a whole bunch of people who really not even trying to pursue nothing, not trying to invest in shit, not trying to do shit. And I mean, I'm not to bash, right? If you single and you want to just have a little fun in the sun, that's your business. I don't pay nobody bills. I ain't nobody here. I am not here to tell nobody what to do and what they can and can't do with their own body, their own independence, their own autonomy. But again, this is a good time to making sure that you're putting eggs in several baskets with this Seven of Cups. You need to taste a couple of different cakes. Don't just like whoever like you and then you just cling to them right now. Because again, you fucking up your own blessings. Ride the wave. If they want to entertain you and deal with you, cool. That's fine. There's no problem with it. But again, are they trying to commit? Are they wanting something serious with this justice card? That's the real question. If the answer is no, then you need to move it on and put an egg in this basket too. Then go put an egg in that one. Then go put an egg in this one. And then come back. Right? That's how you're going to have to do that. Or else again, you might just be going along and going with the vibe and going with the flow of people who might not even want to invest in anything. You have Ride the Wave and then you have Page of Pentacles. So for my super singles, it feels like collectively a good bit of you might just kind of be going along to get along. You know, you're not really addressing conflict. You're not saying what you need to say. You're not stating the intentions that you need. You're not stating what you want and kind of sticking to your guns. It's like you kind of just going along with the energy. You know, you might see some shit that's unfavorable. You know, you might see some shit that you really don't like. You know, you might see some shit that you really don't want. But are you really speaking up about it? Are you really speaking on it? Are you really calling it? Are you really saying something? Because if the answer is no, then you might keep keeping yourself in these situations where, again, you're not having that many options. You're trying to keep the peace. You're not really saying what needs to be said. You're trying to be nice about it and shit. You know, where it's like, no, you need to speak up. You need to say something. You need to say something. You need to have a couple of your options open. Don't be dealing with people and then you know that you don't like how they're showing up. You know that you don't like how they speak to you. You know that you don't like insert thing here, but then you like, oh well, what if I say something and I fuck up the harmony? What if we argue? What if we get into an argument and then after the argument, they don't want to talk to me no more. They don't want to deal with me no more. I mean, then this ain't somebody you need to be dealing with any motherfucking way. This ain't nobody you need to be dealing with anyways. You need to tell them to get the fuck on before they get spit the fuck on. Don't let the good door hit you or the good Lord split you. And send their ass on about their way. But it's like for some of you intuitively where I'm picking up my super singles, you make things more complex than they need to be. You make things harder than they need to be. You make things more of a puzzle than they need to be by not just doing what you know you need to do. If you know the motherfucker ain't doing shit, you know the bitch ain't doing shit, cut him. It's as simple as that. Why you riding a wave and then waiting for somebody to prove to you that they ain't worth shit, that they ain't about shit, that this ain't your person? You knew from day one, moment one, when they did that one thing or said that one thing, that this is not your person. And yet you still here just like, well, I'm just going to, see where things go. Why? For what? Give me this four of wands. What is my collective trying to keep harmony on? What are they trying to keep harmony on? What is this? The world card reverse? Yeah. So this feels like more of a cycle for some of you. Two of wands, right? Elevating your own purpose, progress, and passing. For some of you, this is a cycle. So be mindful of that. For some of you, where my so super singles, you might have a cycle, a long going phase, a long going chapter of just you should cut somebody out, you don't. You need to check that bitch, you don't. You need to say something to this person, you don't. You kind of just like let shit slide, you know? Well, I'm just gonna see it through. I ain't really like how they showed up. I ain't really like how they spoke to me. I ain't really like how they handled that situation. But I'm not gonna say nothing. I'ma just, go back out to dinner with them tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens. Why? You make it more complex for yourself because you still stand. You know this person irritates you. You know this person come with complications. You know they be contradicting themselves. You know that this is going to require an adjustment. You know that this is going to require a transformation. You feel like, what I'm saying, you trying to piece together a goddamn 500 piece puzzle. Why are you still doing this? Cut your losses. The best thing a spiritualist could have ever told me was to cut my losses, to start cutting my losses. And this feels very, very, very similar. Give me the Seven of Cups reverse. Yeah. Ten of Wands reverse. For some of you, this feels like more of for some of you, and I know I have a lot of clients like this, right? Where you want your person, you don't want to date around, you don't want to put your eggs in different baskets, you don't want to be this type of person, be that type of person, but it's like you still need to do that. There's a mindset that you like have that isn't helping you. If you feel like, oh, I don't deal with a whole lot of people, I'm just a one and done type of person, that'll probably really help hurt you more than help you. I can't tell nobody to date around. I can't tell nobody to be the type of person to put several eggs in their baskets. But what I can say is, why most people get burned out on you if you've been on the internet long enough, you've seen those people where it's like, I'm so tired of dating because I'm tired of telling people what my same favorite color is. I'm tired of dating. I'm tired of having to start over. I'm tired of having to tell people what my favorite color is, what my favorite movie is, what my favorite meal is. I'm tired of having to start over. Cool. You wouldn't have to feel like you got to keep starting over if you just put your eggs in several baskets. Because if prospect number one don't work out, you still got prospect number two. It might still hurt you a little bit. It might still fuck with you a little bit, but it's not gonna be that bad because you know that you have someone else that's a runner up. Just in case if this don't work, I got person number two. If prospect number two don't work, I got prospect number three. I always got an eye to the streets. That's just me personally. It's just what's worked for me. But this feels like the same thing, where it's like there's a mentality here for my singles that if you don't get over it, like get out of this mentality, you might kind of always overcomplicate things. You might keep finding yourself in situations where you just going with the flow. Then that don't work out. You realize wherever the things was flowing with this person, it ain't gonna work out. Now you gotta scramble for another person. When if you get you 3 or 4 people, put you a couple of eggs in different baskets, take the rose colored glasses off, really see these people for who they are instead of just kind of flowing with them, right? Because that's the thing with taking the rose colored glasses off too. If you take them hoes off and really see these people for who they are, you're not gonna keep flowing and going with the flow with these people. Because at the moment they show you who they is the first time, you're gonna realize, oh, this ain't where I wanna be. Up, this ain't who I wanna be with. Up, this ain't who I want to be. So it just depends on how you kind of want to go about it. Dealing with a bunch of people who, again, might not really even be investing in you. This page of pentacles is reversed. So this might be a bunch of people who really not trying to invest in nothing. Right? For my singles, if you know you want something committed, you know you want something real, you know you want something long lasting, right? I'm gonna first start with the song that's playing. Cause what is this? BVSN featuring Party Next Door. I like this song a lot. Friends. And the chorus and the hook, it says, stop listening to my friends. Because the way I see it, you mine. So don't even pay no attention to what the fuck my friends saying. Don't pay no attention to the shit the shit they talking. Because in my mind, it's us. So this makes me feel like for my super singles, stop going with the flow. Stop listening to naysayers. Stop getting yourself in complex situations because you're not speaking up, speaking out, advocating for what you want, who you is, what you're dealing with, what you're not dealing with. Out the gate, you need to out the gate already let them know that. And you also need to be kind of having an eye to the streets. Don't like somebody and then you just bank on them. Everything by Kalani is playing right. Baby, you my everything. Baby, it's the everything for me. Not with these motherfuckers. Not for y'all. Baby, it's the everything for me. Not for y'all. It don't need to be the everything for y'all. Because you can get, I feel like for my singles, you can get real wrapped up in, baby, it's the everything for me. It's the way you walk, it's the way you listen, it's the way you this, it's the way you. But then this might even be somebody who don't even see you the same way. This might be somebody who see you the same way, but still don't want the same commitment that you want. Which is why you have to have your eggs in several baskets. For my people who are watching this, you need to have a coin in several baskets. That don't mean you gotta goddamn give the farm away for a smile. But you need to be invested in this connection, invested in this connection, invest in this connection, and maybe even a fourth connection. And that way it'll kind of secure you across all borders. So that's why I said just maybe in the event that month 5, prospect number 1, you realize, oh yeah, you're not the person I thought you was. But now you don't have to go back to the drawing board. You have prospect number 2, 3, and 4. You can come back and say, you know what, I'm not really missing nothing. Hoping prospect number 1 work out. But I still have 3 other prospects. I can get to know them and further my connection with them the way I've been doing and see if maybe it's one of them. But again, once you kind of put all your eggs in one basket and say, baby, it's the everything for me, and they might not feel the same way, you kind of get yourself caught up in some shit. Give me something for this Knight of Cups. Love the way you teach me. Love the way you listen. No, that's right, Kalani. Give me this Knight of Cups. You know all my details. You so damn attentive. I love this song. DMX is here with this Knight of Cups. It says spirit versus flesh. Year of the dog. Okay. Prayer warrior, highs going down, addiction, X, slipping and falling, let me fly. So again, this might be somebody who spirit versus flesh and year of the dog already is kind of pretty self-explanatory to me, to be completely honest. So again, making sure that you're not giving the farm away for a smile. Put your eggs in several baskets is what this message feels like for those who are so super single. This is a good time to put your eggs in different baskets. Don't start liking somebody who, again, because the harmony is there, but then you realize that this is an old cycle. They're not trying to move forward with you. They're not interested in moving forward with you. They still act like they got so much other shit going on. They still want to be a player and shit. They still overly lustful. This is not the person that God is sending you. This is not the person your divine team is sending you to be your husband or wife. But it's about how well, again, for some of you, you need to ride a wave. Just flow with it. For others of you, you know you ride the wave too much. You need to stop riding the wave. Start asking questions. Okay, what is this? How is this? You're a little too comfortable. You're a little too riding the wave. You ain't ask no questions. You ain't ask this person how they feel about you. You ain't ask this person if they want commitment, if they want a girlfriend, if they want a boyfriend. You ain't ask their ass nothing. You just going with the flow. No, stop doing that. And for others of you where it resonates, you don't go with the flow enough. You need to just chill. You ask too many questions. You too attentive. You too overly analytical. You too on that. You need to just vibe. Go with the wave and allow these prospects to come towards you. And once they come towards you, try the spirit by the spirit. Go with the flow, see who they is, and kind of analyze it from there. And once you realize you've seen enough of them and you know if this is going to work for you or not, then you can derail. But until then, it's given for my super singles. Changes will need to be made, whether it be you don't ride the flow enough, or for those of you who ride the flow too much. Somebody needs to be on the opposite side of the spectrum, is what this feels like. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in, though. I really appreciate it. Last song that we're ending on is a Sunday Kind of Love by Etta James. I really do love that song. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, leave some comments. Again, if you want a personal love reading, you can get 10% off of the in-depth ones. For discount code, come back, you get 10% off. Discount code COMEBACK. My name is B, just in case you forgot from the beginning of this. Like, share, subscribe. Again, like I said, check down below in the description box for all of my other teams and where to find me on my websites and all of the amazing things like that. And yeah, call me, beat me. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.